I'm hearing a lot of Microsoft leaving the console business in the future if the things don't go their way. So what I heard was Phil Spencer is saying that if they don't, meet a certain quota by 2027 of like people in Game Pass and the consoles and stuff like that, that they're just gonna kind of like, kick the bucket. They're gonna bounce from the gaming industry. And I don't know how people are feeling about this. Like no one, I highly doubt that they're very happy about it because all those people with freaking consoles are going to be very upset.
Yeah,
what's funny about
that? Yeah, I think it's a very upsetting situation. Oh, go ahead, Angel. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I literally saw a video on this earlier today that it's there's going to be a bunch of people that are probably going to be like pissed because these are the same people that buy these consoles because they want the exclusives, only to find out that a few months later these exclusives are going to be everywhere else. On,
right.
PlayStation, Nintendo, PC, they're going to be everywhere.
Look at that. Even Nintendo's going to get their little dirty fingers all over it.
So it defeats the whole purpose of getting an Xbox for the exclusives when they're going to be coming out for everywhere else, including like the legit hardcore exclusives like Halo that are only ever been for console. Apparently, that's going to be one of the the games that gets transferred over too.
Yeah, I just think that it's a very like kind of upsetting experience, I guess, like because I mean, to think of the thought of just like Xbox just like, tapping out and just not even like, I don't even know what to do at this point because, they're not having really enough content and then just bright ideas to keep this whole thing going. You know what I mean?
I feel like they're starting to lack the motivation and stuff, and they're just kind of
they're giving up. Like they're just throwing up the gloves.
That's what it feels like.
And the thing is, like they almost say, like what is the point of owning a console? Whereas, like because again, a lot of their content goes onto the PC, and they're like, oh, most people are like, so then what am I buying an Xbox for? And the thing is, it's like I still think it's still beneficial because a lot of people still can't afford the high end piece because in this rate, like if they discontinue making the consoles, it's kind of like, damn, I'm kind of like forced to have to pay for a $3,000 fucking PC or even like a $5,000 PC, whatever the case is. Whereas you get a console and it's only $500. So right. I just think like if that's going to be the like going forward idea, it's like, whoa, I think we're in trouble here because you know what I mean? Like, I mean, not specifically myself, but I'm saying for people out there, I'm speaking for the people. I just like, I think, it's a little unfair if they're going to do that. I mean,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I just think like, I just think they just need to recap, just have a seat, go back to the conference room and figure out some things because.
Which I think they are because, they said by 2027, there's still so much time
to come up with something. Right.
Somebody is going to end up coming out with something and then something's going to change. It might not be something good or it can be something good. Mm-hmm. But, there's still some kind of hope there for people with Xboxes. I never really, cared for the Xbox too much.
Right.
Obviously, I got my PS5 and my Steam Deck, so I'm pretty set for anything.
Right.
But I think I don't know. I've been saying this since Starfield. I said they're gonna go down the shithole. They're gonna get flushed down the toilet.
Yeah.
Because they wanted this game to be like their best thing, and they were like going with it.
And it seemed like they were piping it up so much just for it to flop.
Well, they
It didn't necessarily flop. It just didn't get as much recognition,
get as much, attraction as they thought it would.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, they thought that they predicted that this was supposed to replace Master Chief on how big it was, and it's like,
how are you going to replace Master Chief?
He's already set in stone, dude.
Yeah,
that man is like basically the face of Microsoft.
But that's
how are you going to replace that?
But that's how they predicted this whole thing. They just said like this is going to be the biggest game of Xbox history, and it's like that's what the lead up was.
Was it though?
Right, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like that's what we were all saying. We were like all this hype, and it's like that with every game out there. When you pipe up a game this much, I guarantee it doesn't live up to the hype.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
Not when you hype it up like that. I feel like when you start hyping it up like that, you set people's expectations a little too
high. Too high, and then
by the time it comes out, Yeah, exactly. Like when you have somebody's expectations going that high on a steady basis, and then when the game finally comes out, they're expecting so much from this game
Right.
just to be disappointed because it didn't live up to their expectations because of how they were piping up the game.
It just really sucks for the people who own Xbox or who are really big Xbox fans. Because then, like to know that like there's a high potential in the future that this like the Xbox they have will be the last one that they ever have.
Which is a crazy sentiment. Which when you think about it.
Which is like Angel just said, it's like it's such a crazy thing to actually understand, because it's like Xbox has been around almost as long as PlayStation has. Obviously, PlayStation's older, but it's been its competitor for a long time, And the when you go back and think about, damn, Bill Gates when he presented the first Xbox when it came out was like, wow, you know what I mean? Like it was such a great. It was something different that we didn't have in the early 2000s. So to see like them just kind of like throwing up the white flag, I don't know what to do in this situation. Like it's just like I don't. Maybe they're just missing something in the link, man. They're like it has to be more games to save it, like, or is it something that you just need to come out with, like PlayStation and Nintendo, or they're not having these problems because again they're finding ways to keep people buying their product.
They have way more first party games.
Yeah, they had the games to back up the material. But the thing is with them, it's like they're not making it about the games. Like they're just trying to find other loopholes to make it more of a business than go back to the roots on what they used to do back in the day for the 360. Because I feel like the 360 was still, it was good, man. It had a lot of games, man. Like
that's when it was prime.
I'm curious to what Dante has to say about this.
Yeah, I would say like it's not for sure that they're stopping, because I'm reading this article now that last Tuesday Phil Spencer was reassuring the employees that they're not getting out the hardware market when it comes to the consoles. It's just they're putting more focus onto, I guess, marketing the third party games or whatnot. And that's where the other rumor comes along, where people are saying like they might sell their main first party games to like other consoles now, with like Gears of War and Starfield and like all their main stuff. That's another thing.
But that was their trademark. Like that's what really helped build them up. Like those games in particular, and it's like, yes, they might be rumors, and we don't know if it's like 100% set in stone, but the fact that, we're focusing up on marketing is like, okay, but you have a big enough team to focus up on both aspects of it, the games and the marketing. So why we're turning our heads going towards marketing more than, than actually the video games, you know what I mean? Like they get what the foundation of their company, you know what I mean? It's just confusing. Like, what are we doing here, guys?
They still have plenty of time, I think. And, I feel like that they have some kind of, backup plan in a way, but if that fails, then it's all over at this point. You know what I mean?
And I mean, I guarantee, PlayStation's probably rubbing their hands right now. It's like, God damn, about time they gave up and realized that we're better than them.
I mean, they're still going against Nintendo.
Nintendo is infinite. There would you would never see them put down those boxing gloves, man. Tell me, like,
they're there forever.
They're like, we've been around longer than both of you guys combined. So, I mean, you guys end up being more and selling more, but it's okay. We've been around longer.
Yeah, and plus I'm like also seeing that like the past, like the run of the two systems, the newer generations of the PS5 and the Xbox, the PlayStation has been like surpassing them in the past two semesters of like their run. So it's like, I guess that's like another thing that's discouraging them from like really pushing through with the first party games, and them trying to put more focus on the third parties and I guess selling the IPs off the other consoles or whatnot. But That'd be really crazy if they actually pull through and you just end up seeing like a Halo on PlayStation eventually.
That'll be wild, dude.
It's crazy.
Playing Halo on PlayStation, like their name is so big and it's such a big company. Like to see them just flop like that is wild. That's gonna go down in history.
That will go down in history, but I think that would bring like a fucking riot or something, because like the Xbox fans would be like, "There's no fucking way that we're gonna allow this to be on their side. It's just it doesn't make sense." Playing,
I can see the memes rolling through soon.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? But I mean, like Don said, it's like a lot of their major platforms are getting transitioned to like, PlayStation. You know what I mean? Like they're sharing them now. And I don't know, because I mean, I feel like even with Helldivers, like that was supposed to be exclusively the PlayStation, but then they're sharing it with PC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. Like what Don said, they're trying to focus up on marketing. Would that actually be more beneficial for them to market? I don't know what they're profiting off of, because if their games are going to be on another console, it's like the more profit is going to go towards them, not them. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I'm sure they get a cut deal with them.
Yeah, but it won't be.
That's like reasonable.
It won't be the percentage that they're looking for.
Probably not.
No.
Then, knowing PlayStation, they'll be like, "Well, I really don't care about this game because we got better ones."
Yeah, they're gonna be like, "Well, we'll cut you in on this deal. You'll probably get like maybe 30%, while we get like 70." Like.
I can see that happening.
What's the point of like, why did they buy Blizzard and Activision like last year?
That's another thing. They probably could have never like keep up with it. I have no idea. That probably is what killed them. For all we know.
Because they really put down so much money to buy both of those companies and just to fuck over PlayStation and the court.
Yeah, you talking about the buyout, right? With Activision and Blizzard?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much to keep the sales away from PlayStation. Like that was like the whole point of like getting all that profit when it comes to like games like Call of Duty and the other game, I forget what it's called. Overwatch.
Yeah.
Well, PlayStation's like, well, thank you for buying Activision for me, and now you can give it back. Because that's what's gonna happen. Like if Xbox flops, they're gonna have to just, like you said, get them to play all their games on the other platforms, because they want to share their games, but
right. And Don, they weren't they say they went and did a buyout. No, they were renting. Now it's like their lease is up, and now
it's like a 2-year lease.
Yeah, and like PlayStation's like, you know what? We're gonna actually buy it. You know what I mean? Like,
so now PlayStation just has to sit back and just wait.
Oh yeah, they're dude. They got their feet up, and they're with the sandals out and everything. They're like,
so technically at this point, PlayStation has no competition really.
No,
because Nintendo's doing its own thing and PlayStation's doing its own thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's wild. What I was just That's so wild to think about.
What I find interesting though is like, let's say Microsoft is falling off the map, right? Let's say that's already done deal, it's official and all that. The one thing that we can say for sure is that Microsoft did give us some crazy ass franchises.
Oh my god, yeah. Gears of War.
Gears of War, Halo, God of War. Like these are some titles
God of War is PlayStation.
I'm sorry. There you go. My bad. That was my. You guys get it. but bottom line though is it gave us some really good franchises that have been around for like the longest time.
Right.
So like as far as like a competition goes, they were putting up one hell of a fight, and we can't take that part away from them.
No.
Oh no, they definitely got the recognition. Yeah, it's just like
exactly.
The fact that they're going out like this is wild to me.
That's what I'm saying. It's hurting for a lot of fans who've been around since the beginning. The first Xbox, it's been with them throughout their whole career. You know what I mean? And to see them say like, "Damn guys, like we're not really like fully giving up, but we have to go back to the drawing board and kind of figure out some things for their, I guess like again like their marketing shit." Like,
damn, can you imagine like your kids in the future like past 2030 and they'd be like,
what is an Xbox?
Yeah, in my day, we used to play Xbox. What's an Xbox?
Yeah, I was about to say, what is that? That's like, I just want them to figure out something that won't completely like. Again, these are all just rumors. We're just speculation. But but I just want them to figure out some way for them to, to keep their hopes up, man. To, keep their fans believing like they're gonna actually do something good with their company. You know what I mean?
And I agree with you. Like
giving the idea that they're going to be able to pull through this.
Yeah.
I am not a huge Xbox fan, but I have had Xboxes in the future. I mean, in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But
Same.
like, I hope that they get through this because I don't want to see Xbox gone. You know what I mean?
But that's what I'm saying. It's like seeing one of the most monumental, companies of gaming that helped push gaming, that brought a lot of people together and shit as fans. It's like, to see them, if they go down, man, it's like a lot of people in the gaming community are just going to be like, get the fuck. Because, I mean, you got people that would be like, okay, yeah, we still got PC. We can still play the games off there. But that's not the point that we're trying to make. We're just trying to say that Microsoft is, it sucks to see them hurting at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. And we might never see, cross-platform anymore.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's gonna be. Like,
I was about to say, and another thing is too, like they recently got rid of all their physical games. Like in Walmart, they stopped continuing to sell them, and Walmart's and Best Buy as well too. So it's like, but at the same time, I would argue like a lot of people are saying like, oh no, they actually ahead of the game of going towards just being primarily on PC because all the other consoles are going to probably eventually get to that point of like how all the hardware part of the consoles are pretty much matching up with PC, trying to keep up with PC parts.
Now they already did something similar to this. I don't know if they did already, but if they make something that is already like if it's an Xbox, but it's combined with a tower, like a PC, in general, like it's sort of like a PC already.
Do what I said before on the last episode. Yeah. Make one fucking super system that they all chip in for.
They're not going to do that. They don't want to. They don't want to look like. I just feel like Microsoft doesn't want to look like.
Yeah, but they'll still have their own launchers like Steam. They'll still have like their PlayStation store. Make all their money off of there. Their Microsoft store. Make all their money off of there.
I agree.
Like, why do we need like 4 or 5 different systems? Just make one fucking system for everything. We're able to play everything. Oh, you have to buy this subscription to play this game. Cool, I'll buy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
can I ask you a question regarding that, Daniel? Because I just kind of wanted to like roll with the idea just for a really quick second. How much do you think that system would cost if they did do something like that? I mean, when I say like how much do you think it's going to cost, I mean like actually think about
for having
themselves and as far as like their normal like price range for like new stuff, like really like, you know what I mean? I just want to see what your thought process is on that.
If I'm being realistic, I would say probably like 1,200.
Yeah,
like low base.
Yep.
I could probably see that. Yeah.
Because if you think about it, the PC already does everything as it is.
That's exactly where I was about to go with that.
So if you're rolling, like again, if everything is like the system, basically the PlayStation basically has like a 3080 in it.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that all these newer systems are starting to build like PCs, why not just build a PC with PlayStation launcher,
right?
Xbox launcher,
yep.
Steam. Just have it all on there. Just fucking pay for it instead of wasting money on these big ass fucking systems that I can't even put in a small crevice of a place. I have to have it as a fucking trophy on the top of my thing, my dresser.
Another beneficial part, if they did decide to go with the PC aspect of it, let's say it gets to a point where like the games are now getting too powerful for the system. You don't have to buy a whole new system.
You just buy the part.
That one piece. Yeah, you can just change out that one piece, pop in the new one, boom. Now you're basically a tip top shape again. Mm-hmm. It's so much easier than like having
4 years later. You want to 4 years later. You want to upgrade. This is our next generation. Here, another $200. Bam.
And it's
replace it. Done.
And it's only so much better than the other. It's not like a monumental difference.
It's just the question is
start our own fucking business over here. Jesus.
It's just the question is, will they actually go through with that?
Absolutely not, because fucking companies are greedy.
Absolutely not. Nope.
It was just a theory.
Yeah, it's such a cool concept to grasp, but it's like some
fan theories and concepts. That's all it is.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's such a cool concept to grasp, but it's like for them to.
I promise, guys. Like the audience, just know that we're not fucking. We know that it won't work. It's just an idea.
just some
I can
something
see-
fun to think about.
I can see a lot of our fans saying that too. It's like they're like, no, guys, come on.
Like, this guy's a dumbass.
Yeah, they're like, come on, guys, let's be serious for a second. That would never happen.
No, absolutely not.
But
Like,
at
I
that
love my
point, at least-
PlayStation. I think it looks great.
Yeah.